Hey everyone, it is Theta Sigma. We're here on my computer boosting. I call it boosting because, well, I don't know if it's even called boosting. Just working on projects. Going back on my notepad and grading my process. Okay, S plus minus. I graded my computer paradigm S plus minus, new coding methods, A plus plus, new explanations for relationships, B minus plus, improved builds for 14th class, A plus minus, A minus plus actually. Book writing. This is like a D plus minus because I haven't been working on that. And I'm going to introduce more stuff. Working on tag system development. And I'm already grading myself, but I'll grade myself later. Let's look through gaming because it's the only thing I'll be able to focus on for a while. But I'm trying to find new episodes of gaming that I haven't seen already. So I'm working through interactive gameplay. So let's put some permutation music with the already gameplay footage that I'm working on, and I'll work on the setup for the video dashboard. I already have it. Oh, that's right. Let's see. Playlist. Dashboard updated, going through regenerational process 2. Indiana mana. Indiana mana. Base 44. Start building. PS4 18 P60 PS. California Republic. Man, this video's slow. You get 1,000 flow, people. Still building. And then go through the data board, buy some gems. You're good. Get some healing potions. Heal.
Can AI agents debug Python code bases effectively? Augment Code can. Here I have a Django project for an online shopping platform. I try to sign up and it seems to accept it, but when I log in with the same details, it doesn't work. Let's get Augment Code to debug it. My initial prompt is very simple, so I use this feature I love, the prompt enhancer, which gives my prompt more detail and structure using the context of my code base. Augment first starts by gathering context using its industry-leading context engine. Then it uses the Playwright MCP to autonomously interact with the app and debug on the fly. It encounters some issues with the password being too short and not displaying an error message, so it fixes it. Let's try the fix. Great, now it warns me if my password is too short, and when I enter one with the correct length, I'm able to log in. You can also debug your Python projects in one shot with Augment Code. We have a 7-day free trial you can try at augmentcode.com. We're in VS Code, JetBrains, the CLI, as well as Cursor and Windsurf.
Can you please just hear me out? No, all work management platforms are the same. Monday.com is one you'll actually love to use. It lets you set up your workflows yourself. No admin, no long approval process. You're in charge. Did you see the dashboards? They update in real time for your team's day to day, so you're always in control. No freaking way. I don't have to put the data in myself? Are you for real? Monday.com handles all the boring stuff, so you can focus on what really matters. You know what? I'm ready to fall in love again. Thanks, Talking Llama. You don't remember my name, do you? Of course I do. Monday.com, the first work platform you'll love to use. Can you guys see her? Can anyone see us?
I'm about to change the topic in a bit to personal development and relationships, structure, and much more. I'm just doing HAO gameplay right now, or AOI, or AHI gameplay. down to personal development. We're going to be analyzing different people's perspectives on personal development, as well as Jordan Peterson's perspective, even though I don't agree with everything he says.
One step backwards. The first question might be, why should you even bother improving yourself? And I think the answer to that is something like, so you don't suffer any more stupidly than you have to. And maybe so others don't have to either. It's something like that. Like there's a real injunction at the bottom of it. It's not some casual self-help doctrine. It's that if you don't organize yourself properly, you'll pay for it, and in a big way, and so will the people around you. Now, and you could say, well, I don't care about that, but that's actually not true. You actually do care about that, because if you're in pain, you will care about it. And so you do care about it, even if it's just that negative way, It's very rare that you can find someone who's in excruciating pain who would ever say, well, it would be no better if I was out of this. Sort of pain is one of those things that brings the idea that it would be better if it didn't exist along with it. It's incontrovertible. So you get your act together so that there isn't any more stupid pain around you than necessary. Well, so then the question might be, well, how would you go about getting your act together? And the answer to that, and this is a phenomenological idea too, it's something like, look around for something that bothers you and see if you can fix it. So now you think, well, let's say you go into you can do this in a room. It's quite fun to do it just when you're sitting in a room, like a room, maybe your bedroom. You can sit there and just sort of meditate on it and think, okay, if I wanted to spend 10 minutes making this room better, what would I have to do? And you have to ask yourself that, right? It's not a command, it's like a genuine question. And things will pop out in the room that there's a stack of papers over there that's kind of bugging you, and you know that maybe a little order there would be a good thing, and there's some rubbish behind your computer monitor that you haven't attended to for like 6 months, and the room would be slightly better if it was a little less dusty and the cables weren't all tangled up the same way. And if you allow yourself just to consider the expanse in which you exist at that moment, there'll be all sorts of things that'll pop out in it that you could just fix. And I might say, well, if you were coming to see me for psychotherapy, this easiest thing for us to do first would just be to get you to organize your room. You think, well, is that psychotherapy? And the answer is, well, it depends on how you conceive the limits of your being. And I would say, start where you can start. If something announces itself to you, which is a strange way of thinking about it, as in need of repair, that you could repair, then, hey, fix it. You fix 100 things like that, your life will be a lot different. Now, I often tell people too, fix the things you repeat every day, because people tend to think of those as trivial, right? You get up, you brush your teeth, you have your breakfast, you have your routines that you go through every day. Well, those probably constitute 50% of your life. And people think, well, they're mundane, I don't need to pay attention to them. It's like, no, that's exactly wrong. The things you do every day, those are the most important things you do. Hands down. All you have to do is do the arithmetic. You figure it out right away. So 100 adjustments to your broader domain of being, and there's a lot less rubbish around, and a lot fewer traps for you to step into. And so that's in keeping with Jung's idea about erasing once you've got your mind and your emotions together, and once you're acting that out, then you can extend what you're willing to consider yourself and start fixing up the things that are part of your broader extent. Now, sometimes you don't know how to do that. So you might say, imagine you're walking down Bloor Street and there's this guy who's like alcoholic and schizophrenic and has been on the streets for 10 years. He sort of stumbled towards you and, incoherently mutters something. That's a problem. And it would be good if you could fix it, but you haven't got a clue about how to fix that. You just walk around that and go find something that you could fix, because if you muck about in that, not only is it unlikely that you'll help that person, it's very likely that you'll get hurt yourself. So, just because while you're experiencing things announce themselves as in need of repair doesn't mean that it's you right then and there that should repair them. You have to have some humility. You know, you don't walk up to a helicopter that isn't working and just start tinkering away with it. You have to stay within your domain of competence. But most of the time, if people look at their lives, you know, it's a very interesting thing to do. I like the idea of the room, because you can do that at the drop of a hat. You know, you go back to where you live and sit down and think, okay, I'm going to make this place better for half an hour. What should I do? And you have to ask, and things will just pop up like mad. And it's partly because your mind is a very strange thing. As soon as you give it a name, a genuine aim, it'll reconfigure the world in keeping with that aim. That's actually how you see to begin with. And so if you set it a task, especially, you have to be genuine about it, which is why you have to bring your thoughts and emotions together, and then you have to get them in your body so you're acting consistently. You have to be genuine about the aim, but once you aim, the world will reconfigure itself around that aim, which is very strange. And it's technically true. You know, the best example of that, you have all seen this video where you watch the basketballs being tossed back and forth between members of the white team versus the black team, and while you're doing that, a gorilla walks up into the middle of the video and you don't see it. It's like, you know, if you thought about that experiment for about 5 years, that would be about the right amount of time to spend thinking about it. Because what it shows you is that you see what you aim at. And that, man, if you can get one thing through your head as a consequence of even being in university, that would be a good one. You see what you aim at. And so, because one inference you might draw from that is, be careful what you aim at. Right? What you aim at determines the way the world manifests itself to you. And so if the world is manifesting itself in a very negative way, one thing to ask is, are you aiming at the right thing? Now, you know, I'm not trying to reduce everybody's problems to an improper aim. People get cut off at the knees for all sorts of reasons. You know, they get sick, they have accidents. There's a random element to being, that's for sure. And so you don't want to take anything, even that particular phrase, too far. You want to bind it with the fact that random things.
So he's talking about how the world manifests depending on your environment, depending on what you think, what you do. But that's a trap in personal development, because it basically constrains everything you do to your thoughts and your actions, of which it causes issues, because it already determines that the world is a way of how it works, directly influenced by your decisions that you make. Even though that's partially true, it's not a whole truth, because it's complicated. The world is complicated. You can't just say the world's going to manifest because your thoughts. That's basically making you the main character, and you're not the main character. I'm not the main character either. So the world doesn't manifest due to positive or negative actions. It just opportunistically happens. Opportunities open depending on your mental state. Alpha, beta, gamma, delta, different states in sleep, all that stuff is what gives you different dreams. So basically different mindsets put you in different places, but the mindsets are like big braided systems that are configured to work based on structure, not positive or negative primitives. Moving on.
Better Life Media, America's leading source for life improvement, presents Jim Rohn, Living an Exceptional Life.
Hey, thank you. How's everybody? Nice to see you. Thanks for coming today. I appreciate it very much, and I'm just delighted to be here. Now, how many of you have never seen me before? It's your first time. Wow, everybody. I keep thinking I'm famous, but I guess, that settles that. Anyway, nice to see you. I've got some interesting ideas to share with you. If you're ready, say I'm ready. And if you'll take some good notes, I got some lists for you to make that you can take home with you and ponder at later times. Some of the things I want to share with you. I was raised in southwest Idaho. My parents gave me an incredibly excellent start in my life, which I appreciated very much. But I quit school at age 19, unfortunately. My reasoning was, I'm smart enough to get a job. How much smarter do you need to be? And with that shallow thinking, I quit school, age 19, and got a job, went to work. A little while later, got married, started a little family, and I'm struggling and, trying to do my best. But it seems like each year I'm falling just a little bit further behind. Finally, age 25. The climax of my sort of, weariness with where I was, not doing as well as I thought I should. I hear a knock on my door. When I opened the door, there was a little Girl Scout about this tall selling Girl Scout cookies. And she gave me the finest sales presentation I've ever heard. Girl Scouts around the world, no better organization. And we've got these cookies, only $2, several flavors. And with a big smile, she very politely asked me to buy. No problem. I wanted to buy. Big problem. I haven't got $2 in my pocket. Now, I'm a grown man. I live in America. I've been to 1 year of college. I'm married. I've got a family. And I don't have $2 in my pocket. And I didn't want to tell her that. So I did what I thought was next best. I lied to her. I said, hey, look, I've already bought lots of Girl Scout cookies. I've still got plenty in the house that we haven't eaten yet. And she said, oh, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. And she leaves. When she leaves, I say to myself, I don't want to live like this anymore. I mean, how low can you get lying to a Girl Scout? That's about as low as you can go. But I promised myself that day I was going to start my search of finding opportunity, finding somebody who could teach me and coach me on doing much better for myself and for my family and for my future. And shortly after that, I met a most extraordinary man, very wealthy, but a friend of mine said, you've got to meet this man. He's rich, but he's easy to talk to. He's got a unique philosophy of business and life. And the more he told me about this man, the more I said, I've got to meet this guy. And shortly after that, I had a chance to meet him. Sure enough, when I met him, I was impressed. Obviously, he was rich, but he was friendly and easy to talk to. And I said to myself, if I could just get around someone like him, and if he would coach me, I would be willing to learn anything. I'd love to be like him. Well, my good fortune was he invited me to join his company, and over the next 5 years, my dream came true. He coached me and taught me how to turn my life from pennies to fortune. And he's not alive anymore, but I'd like to pay tribute to him one more time, Mr. Earl Schoaf, for the dramatic impact he had on my life, especially during that 5-year period. And so my whole life turned around. I made my fortune by the time I was 32, starting at age 25. And some of the ideas that I want to share with you today came from that 5-year experience. Then from there, I got into lecturing and giving seminars, and I've written a few books. And my career now spans about 41 years. But I'll never forget the impact this gentleman had on my life with a few simple concepts that totally changed my life, changed my future, and changed everything. Jim Rohn's view of the 21st century. Here's number 1. Unprecedented opportunity. We not only have begun a new century, century 21, it's a new millennium. A millennium is a 1,000-year period. We've had 6 so far. This is the beginning of the 7th millennium, and some scholars tell us that this could very well be an extraordinary time for the human race, this 7th millennium. And there's probably a lot of good reason that is probably true. Unprecedented opportunity. We've now got the technology. We pick up a telephone now and talk to somebody on the other side of the world. Transportation now is so easy. I get on an airplane in Los Angeles, and 13 hours later, I'm in Tokyo. 5 meals, 3 movies, and you're there. I mean, you know, it's a simple deal. Anyway, we've got technology, we've got transportation, we've got all the rest, right? So this is going to be a time of unprecedented opportunity in every field you can imagine. Every industry, every country. It's going to be the greatest period of opportunity time in the history of the human race, the 21st century, especially these opening years of the 21st century. So that's number 1, unprecedented opportunity. Now here's the second note to take. Now also keen competition, because we now play the world game. And it's not just competition across the street and company to company and, you know, division to division and, you know, company to company. Now it's worldwide competition. A job now becomes available. Does it go to someone in Minnesota or someone in India? Worldwide competition. So now you've got to be ready to cash in on the opportunity, but you've also got to be ready for the competition. So I've got some interesting ideas on how to be prepared for both opportunity and competition in these opening years of the 21st century. Here's some of my best advice. Number 1, you've got to have more than one skill. It's okay to have one skill, but I'm telling you, if you want economic safety for the future, especially this century, my personal opinion, you need more than one skill. We've seen people, right, the last 15, 20 years that only had one skill, worked for this company for a long time. The division the guy worked for got chopped, eliminated. Now he loses his job. Now he tells us he's in economic distress. Why would that be? Simple answer. He only had one skill. So for economic safety for the future, my personal advice, you gotta have more than one skill. In fact, it led me to my first fortune, and that was learning more than one skill. I started learning these extra skills in Idaho, where I grew up. I knew how to milk cows, but it didn't pay very well. Then someone gave me this incredible advice. If you want to lay the foundation for a future fortune, you've got to learn more than one skill. And I started that process age 25. Here's the first one, and I started part-time. A little sales job that I got. A product that I believed in, learned how to present it well enough for somebody to say yes, gave excellent service so that would lead to multiple sales, and this little extra part-time job in sales absolutely started multiplying my income. From milking cows, now I've got this ability now to start getting customers, keep them serviced, and make some money in this extra skill. So now I've got 2 skills, milking cows and finding customers. Here's the next skill I learned, just to give you a quick list. Next was finding good people. If you've got a little enterprise going and you need some people, you have to just go look for them. And when I learned this skill, finding good people for my little...
Yeah, he's cool, but he doesn't really give examples of what to do in life. Back to gaming.
Move. We're gonna get a lot of lore here in a little bit, okay? So everyone log the part. Okay, anything that I need to work on here also. Oh, Roxas shows up here. Yeah. Yes. She meant Cloud, not Roxas. 358 days, Mushi. Mushi from 358 days, Mushi. That's the game Roxas shows up in. There's a game called 358 Days. Yeah, it's 358 over 2 days. And it came out on the Nintendo, so you can't play it. That's where you get a lot of Roxas lore. That game basically takes place before Kingdom Hearts 3. And it came out after Kingdom Hearts 2. So it's like a
You know, why do I play the same games? I need to move on to different games. Let's play some,
And where does the rhythm game come into the rhythm game
I'll
comes
play some
after-
Mario 64 for a bit. Old version CRT model.
Imagine bringing your side project to life just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
It's harder to play on older systems. Damn. That's enough for this video. I'm gonna make another video after. Just treat this as like a new type of live for video creating, but it's not a live, it's a full video. It's interesting, right?